Czech Republic has come under the grip of an anti-government protest. This protest is not ignited by any domestic policy.
Nestled in the heart of Europe, Czechia holds a strategic geographic significance that often goes unnoticed. Positioned at the confluence of two major rivers, the Oder and the Elbe, the country stands as a pivotal crossroads. A mere 200 kilometers to the south lies the Danube, Europe's second longest navigable river. Welcome to Live Economic News. In today's segment, we turn our attention to Czechia's ambitious endeavor to connect Europe's major rivers. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates on Live Economic News. In an ambitious endeavor, legislators in Prague are contemplating the excavation of a new canal to interconnect these three waterways, forging a unified network. Should this ambitious project succeed, it promises to seamlessly link the major rivers of Central Europe, establishing unhindered navigation between the Black Sea, Baltic Sea, and North Sea. This integration holds immense potential for European commerce and trade, facilitating uninterrupted flow from one end of the continent to the other. The project's scale is awe-inspiring, transcending the convergence of water bodies to become a nexus of geoeconomics and geopolitics. Beyond mere infrastructure, the proposed canal is envisioned as a conduit for opportunities, intertwining diverse landscapes, vibrant cultures, and rich histories. Proponents hail it as a stroke of brilliance, likening its transformative impact to that of the Suez Canal. Conversely, skeptics denounce it as an extravagant venture, warning of economic pitfalls and environmental risks. In the midst of these debates, the project encapsulates a clash of perspectives, where the youth adhere to rules while the old recognize exceptions, mirroring the complexities that accompany innovative endeavors. The concept of unifying the rivers of Central Europe is not novel. History reveals Emperor Charles IV of the Holy Roman Empire incorporating such ideas in the 14th century, transforming Prague into one of Europe's premier cities. Several years prior to Emperor Charles IV's reign, he conceptualized a grand vision to construct a waterway that would facilitate ship navigation from the Oder to the Danube. This visionary proposition held immense potential, promising benefits in terms of trade facilitation, enhanced security, and increased geopolitical influence. However, Charles was unable to realize this ambitious project, facing obstacles stemming from technological limitations, insufficient human resources, and funding constraints that rendered it infeasible at the time. In the subsequent centuries, numerous monarchs sought to resurrect Charles' idea, each aspiring to demonstrate their prowess by stepping into the formidable shoes of the visionary emperor. Despite their ambitions, none could bring the concept of unifying Central Europe's rivers to fruition. The notion lingered as an unrealized dream. Technological impediments persisted, and the necessary conditions for such an undertaking were not met for centuries. It was only in the early 19th century that a seismic shift occurred. Europe found itself in the throes of industrialization, a transformative period reshaping global power dynamics. The established empires were crumbling, with Europe emerging as a dominant force. Concurrently, France achieved a monumental feat with the completion of the Suez Canal in Egypt, connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. This engineering marvel allowed ships to bypass the arduous journey around the southern tip of Africa. Inspired by the success of the Suez Canal, similar projects proliferated globally, including the initial attempts to construct the Panama Canal. In Europe, the fervor for canal construction and civil engineering rekindled interest in the notion of unifying the continent's rivers. The 19th century, however, was characterized by unforeseen political changes and profound technological advances. Consequently, the concept of the canal underwent iterative transformations, adapting to the evolving geopolitical landscape and technological shifts of the era. Throughout these transformations, Czechia consistently occupied a central role in the proposals. Positioned strategically in the heart of Europe, it remained integral to each iteration of the plans, reflecting its geographical significance. As the 19th century unfolded, the dream of connecting Central Europe's rivers persisted, propelled by the confluence of evolving political, economic, and technological forces. The stage was set for a new chapter in the pursuit of this ambitious project. Czechia organically assumed a central role in the unfolding narrative of the ambitious canal project, finding itself strategically positioned at the nexus of major waterways. While detailed plans were meticulously drafted in the past, none could surmount the hurdles of economic and political feasibility. The grand vision, once confined to paper, remained elusive, overshadowed by periods of political upheavals, conflicts, and economic instability. It languished in the realm of unrealized dreams as the complexities of the geopolitical landscape took precedence. It wasn't until the dawn of the 21st century that a resurgence of interest breathed new life into the canal project. The canal is envisioned as a game changer, streamlining the movement of goods and services, reducing transit times and costs for adjacent states, and potentially catalyzing economic diversification in sectors such as tourism, logistics, and manufacturing. The strategic project is expected to generate employment, stimulate local economies along its route, and contribute to the socio-economic development of the regions it traverses, establishing Czechia as a gateway for goods and commodities. The canal, in essence, holds the promise of transforming the economic landscape of Central Europe with far-reaching ripple effects. For a small country situated between northern, western, and southern Europe, the prospect of participating in a geoengineering project of such magnitude is undeniably promising. However, the scale of this endeavor, spanning multiple countries, dictates that it cannot be an exclusive Czech enterprise. Given the inherently international nature of water bodies, lawmakers in Prague have engaged in negotiations on the broader European platform, seeking consensus within the European Union, a task arguably more intricate than the civil engineering challenges associated with building the canals. Following the announcement of the mega-project, Poland and Slovakia swiftly joined forces with Czechia. Lawmakers from all three countries reached an agreement to initiate the first stage, involving the creation of a navigable waterway from the Danube to the Czech city of Ostrava near the Polish border. This initial phase aims to connect the Danube River to the Baltic Sea. The proposed design envisions a 40-meter-wide canal capable of accommodating vessels with a draft of up to 5 meters. Additionally, 8 bridges are slated for construction in both Czechia and Slovakia, along with 2 lock chambers to facilitate ship movement from sections with varying water levels. The ambitious plan further includes the establishment of a new port in the Czech city of Sinov to oversee operations. To kickstart this extensive first stage, Czechia has allocated a substantial budget of 500 million euros. This financial commitment underscores the dedication to advancing this transformative project, marking a collaborative effort among the involved nations to bring about tangible progress in connecting waterways and fostering economic integration in the heart of Europe. While Poland earmarked an impressive 1 billion euros for the canal project, Slovakia's share was still in the midst of negotiation, underscoring the complexities of coordinating funding among the participating nations. Despite the allocated funds falling short of what was required for the first stage, project vendors anticipated that lobbying for additional funding would be more feasible once construction had initiated. Upon the completion of the initial phase, Czechia, Poland, and Slovakia aimed to replicate their success by constructing a similar canal connecting the Danube-Oder waterway to the Elbe River. This economic transition reflects a pattern akin to the transformation Germany underwent in the 1990s, highlighting Czechia's current state of economic evolution and the complex challenges associated with pursuing large-scale infrastructure projects amidst shifting economic dynamics. As Czechia contemplates outsourcing basic industrial activities to the East in the coming decade, mirroring the German way of economic and industrial modernization, the proposed artificial canal raises critical questions about its alignment with contemporary economic needs. Unlike the German artificial canal, where traffic dwindled since the 1990s, a significant shift from trucks to ships seems improbable in Czechia's context. Critics argue that the canal megaproject, designed primarily for bulk cargo, may counterintuitively divert resources from the country's urgent need for economic development. Instead, they advocate for a model akin to Estonia's focus on smart connectivity and innovation. The staggering 24 billion euros earmarked for the canal project could potentially be redirected to more pressing national priorities such as education reform and digital infrastructure. Prague's struggle to foster innovation could find a more viable solution in boosting annual public funding for research and development, offering a safer and potentially more impactful investment than an artificial canal. Beyond financial considerations, environmental concerns loom large as a formidable hurdle to Czechia's waterway ambitions. The ecological impact of such a geoengineering project on local wildlife, plant life, and natural habitats is a cause for concern. Environmentalists and local communities have raised their voices, emphasizing potential threats to biodiversity and the broader ecological balance. Greenpeace warns of irreversible damage, contending that a concrete canal could exacerbate annual droughts and accelerate flood waves through locked chambers, deepening nearby riverbeds during increased precipitation. The potential damage to regional ecosystems could violate EU environmental directives, exposing the involved state to fines. The complexities surrounding the canal project are further compounded by German authorities expressing reluctance to approve construction for freight transport between the Czech and German border, citing environmental and economic considerations. These intricacies underscore the high risks and challenges involved. While the idea of a canal unifying Europe's navigable rivers is undoubtedly inspiring, the practical realities, encompassing economic feasibility and environmental implications, highlight the intricate details that can humble even the grandest designs. What are your thoughts on Czechia's ambitious plan to connect Europe's major rivers with the Danube-Oder-Elbe Canal? How do you think this megaproject could impact the economic landscape of the region and international trade? Share your insights in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's coverage on live economic news, please show your support by giving us a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and ringing the notification bell.